Hello, everybody, and welcome. I want to thank you, Dan, for being here, of Jack and Dan. It's an awesome father-son team that does Fishy YouTube videos and health and wellness as well. I'm going to run through and say some hellos real quick to the people hanging out in the chat, and then we'll get into some questions. Dan, I appreciate you being here today.
Oh, it's an honor, sir. What's going on, everybody?
We have got Pepling Creek Aquatics, Scott's Aquatics, Rose Aquatics, Muppet 929, Pugs Tanks. The Zen Ginger is here. I saw Scully Fish, Sean OOTD. I appreciate you being here. Zen Ginger with $2 super sticker. The big red arrow saying she is here. Now, I don't know if you've seen the lives or not. I know you see the videos, but I like to pop these party poppers off for my super chatters. So I want to startle you, but thank you, Zen. I appreciate it very, very much. Always glad to have you here, and thank you for the super chat. Mandy Boyd, hello. Punchy Pate, glad to see you, Pam. You scroll through here, Miss Fever. Sorry, my scrolling finger is a little out of commission, so I'm having to use the other one. Bear with me, everybody. Sandy Daddy, Brett's channel, Chris John, and I think I'm at the bottom. So if I missed you, my apologies, but thank you all for being here. Let's talk to this awesome guy. So tell everybody a little bit about your channel for anybody that may not be familiar with you.
Oh, man. You know, me and Jack started doing this about a year and a half ago. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for like 30 years, man. I'm older than I look. It's because I'm so healthy.
Oh, that's awesome.
I waited till later in life to have Jack because I was living life. I had a band, did all that kind of stuff, and kind of waited. But anyway, we kind of started doing this. We moved. I had tanks my whole life. Had my first tank when I was like 5. It's a great coping mechanism. I now work in wellness, and I really promote good hobbies like fish keeping, aquariums, plants, gardening, yard stuff. Obviously, all part of wellness. It all encompasses wellness. You know what I mean? So we started posting some of our videos of our aquariums. And it's kind of funny because a lot of the people that liked our channel because of the wellness stuff started digging the aquariums.
Right? That's awesome.
And a lot of the people that came to our channel because of the aquarium stuff started digging the wellness stuff. So we primarily do Wellness Wednesdays where we either do like workout ideas or recipes. We also give a lot of ideas. Like if you go to a restaurant or if you go shopping or if you go whatever, we give people ideas of things that they can do to just be a little healthier. And then Fridays, pretty much always every Friday, we do something orientated with either our aquariums or someone else's aquarium, either aquariums that we have built for other people or sometimes tours. We've done videos where we go snorkeling, like we went snorkeling in Aruba and we posted those on those days and things like that. And then, so we have playlists of those things. So we have like Wellness Wednesday playlist recipes, Wellness Wednesday playlist exercise ideas, wellness. And then we have like Ohio Fish Rescue playlist because we, visit them. And then we have our aquatic adventures where we'll go like when we went to see Father Fish, or if we go to meet other YouTubers, or if we go to, tours of pet stores and stuff like that. So it's just we just kind of started it and it just kept going and we love it. It's something that we enjoy doing and we feel that it helps people a lot, especially through this pandemic,
Absolutely.
to find things to do. So what happened with us is so give you a little background on me. I started aquariums when I was 5. I'm going to be 48. So a long time.
Wow. You're the opposite, like you mentioned. You look younger than you are. I look older than I am because I'm not healthy. So I need to get on those videos on your channel.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. When you take care of sick people every day, like I have for so long, you start to say, hey, there's a lot of things we can do to change this. So about 7 years ago, I actually moved and changed careers and became a wellness coordinator. Now I work as a wellness coordinator for the largest medical company in the state of Ohio. They have 14,000 employees. They own like over 110 facilities. And obviously they've all been going through a lot, healthcare workers that are healthcare workers that are dealing with this pandemic, working under unbelievably difficult making decisions, and it's just tough. It's tough. So what I do is I work with, instead of helping patients now, I help my fellow healthcare workers. I help nurses, I help STNAs, dietitians, doctors, therapists, everybody. And part of that is what I used to do. Did you ever notice how you always have fish tanks, like in nursing homes and hospitals and dentist's office and all that?
Yes.
One of the things that I started doing was putting those in there for them. So I said,
Okay.
hey, you got this great big activities room here. Where's the fish tank? You know what I mean? So we put in turtle tanks, like me and a buddy of mine. We put in turtle tanks. We put in fish tanks. We started doing stuff like that, and it's all encompassing. It's all the same thing. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people don't realize, the more you start to watch these channels with people that do fish keeping, with people that have aquariums. I mean, even the king of DIY himself has opened up and said, hey, this was a coping mechanism for me. I went through these awful times in my life. And honestly, almost every channel we've ever watched has that in common.
Oh, yeah. And I'm no different. I have my issues and things, and I won't get into all that, but it's definitely a coping mechanism for me. It's something that keeps me sane and stable.
And it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. And part of my job that I do is I do the tobacco cessation programs with the employees as well. And one of the first things I start to do when we go through the program is finding different coping mechanisms. And I tell them, have you ever had an aquarium? And then I send them some of our videos. Say, check these out. And they're like, you know what? I used to have an aquarium when I was a kid. I'd like to start one up again. And I'm like, there's about 1 million YouTubers that do aquariums. So I'll send them some links. I'll send them a link to Father Fish. I'll send them a link to somebody or whatever. And I'll say, hey, get a little 10-gallon, start off, maybe try some plants or whatever. Maybe try to do an aqua cave or a penthouse or a vacuum or some crazy stuff like me and Jack do. And they dig it, and they get into it. And I'm like, this is what you, what did Punchy say? I would get something to keep me sane, stable. If that both sailed long ago. Hey, listen, speaking of Punchy, I got to show this. Anybody that didn't see our shout out video, this is, I asked Punchy, if you didn't see that shout out video, I said, hey, Punchy, you're an amazing artist. I said, please, make us something for Jack's Wall of Fame. If you haven't seen Jack's Wall of Fame, so he has a multitude of aquariums that we attach with aqua bridges. And this video got picked up by a website called Interesting Engineering. And they did a story on it. And it ended up getting, hey, Jackie Naturals, what's up? You made it. Let's say hi to her. Awesome. Great gal there. Yeah, we got this frame, Punch. You know us. We went to the Mark's clearance aisle, and we got this for like $1.99. Isn't that tight, man?
It looks awesome.
We do videos where we go to like Drug Mart and Mark's, and we go to the clearance aisles, and we find stuff for our fish tanks. That's another thing we do. We do videos like on Mondays where we show people deals and stuff, And
I love that stuff.
I mean, yeah, look at this frame, $1.99. If you would have went to Bed Bath & Beyond or somewhere to buy this, probably spent $20-$30, and we found it in the clearance aisle. Yeah. So this will go up on Jack's Wall of Fame. So what happened anyway is they did a story on that tank. It ended up, I think it almost has 1.7 million views now.
Yeah, it's up there.
And then we did the video where we attached the third tank with the second bridge, and that has something like 350,000 or something. And it brought a lot of people to the channel, and they started looking at some of our older videos, the aqua cave designs and all that kind of stuff. And what happened early on is, but anyway, I digress.
Oh, you're fine.
What we do on the Wall of Fame is we like to share other YouTubers, especially ones that do the fish, but anyone really. People that have been supportive to us, people that were supportive to them. We want people to know about their channel. So whenever we show Jack's tanks, which is quite often because we're always working on them and updating them, your sticker or your picture or your postcard or whatever goes up on the wall so that people will see it, and you'll get some, exposure to your channel. And you don't have to send us anything. I mean, you don't have to have a sticker, a picture, or do something fancy like Punchy did and all that. Send us a postcard or whatever. We'll put it up there on the wall. We'll mention you. We'll give you a shout out. We want people to know about some of these great channels that are out there, because there are some hidden gems, man. There are some hidden gems.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I stumbled on yours. It was your water bridge video. That was how I found your channel, actually, because I've done them before. I've used that method generally just for plumbing purposes, never for actual like show purposes, kind of like you've got with the clear tubing. And I stumbled on that, and I was like, oh man, this is cool. And so and that was the question I was going to ask you is, where do you find your clear tubing? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the video.
So that was kind of funny. So you can buy clear PVC. I'm going to walk by this tank real quick, but I'm not going to show a lot. This is the big Aqua Cave tank, but I'm not showing a lot because we got updates coming on that, and those are secret, top secret.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they need to subscribe to your channel to see that if they haven't subscribed already.
Now, let me show you this too. Okay, so as far as the bridge, you can buy PVC that's clear. You can also buy glass that's clear. You can also buy hurricanes. A lot of the under gravel lighting that we do, we go to clearance places and we buy those little hurricanes that come for like candles.
Yeah.
And the reason you want to use a hurricane is because you can put the light underneath the tank, and I'll show you that in a minute. This is we finally started organizing some of this, so let me show you this. This is our new fish closet. We have more in other places, but look at that. So these are all upcoming projects.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We got
behind the scenes. We
got 4 tanks in there. And those are all tanks that we just got from people. Either they were trying to get rid of them or throw them away or whatever. I'm going to show you this one before it rains. This is it. This is a top secret. This is top secret too. This is a people call it a 125. It's not really a 125. It's like 115.89 gallons. This is a nasty old tank that we were helping out at the fish rescue not too long ago. And people just, honestly, man, I got it covered up so it doesn't fill up with water.
Now, is that a 2 foot by 4 foot tank?
No, actually, that's what's weird about it. It's extra tall.
That's what I was thinking. It looked taller. It's
like 32 inches tall. So it's like 2.5 by 2 by 4.
Oh, nice.
It's a really cool tank, and it's a little older. You can tell because the glass is so thick. Yeah. And over here in the shed, I'll show you. There's the stand, and again, the stand is old and nasty. But again, so what happens a lot of times at the rescue is people, hey, let's say somebody in a family, let's say somebody gets a divorce. Let's say somebody moves. Let's say somebody dies. Whatever happens. And they call Big Rich and Josh and they go, look, we just want to get this out of here. We don't know what to do with it. They go and they rescue them. But a lot of times when it comes to some of these other kind of things, they have a tendency to kind of pass them on to people that help them out at the rescue. Not necessarily as payment, but it's kind of like, hey, you volunteered your time here. You volunteer, whenever we go to the rescue, we take 50 pounds of tilapia. We take stuff because we love them and we love what they do and we want to help the fish and we know it's costly. And so we try to help out. Let me go back
quick
here.
Jackie Naturals, have a great day. Thank you for swinging by. So I have to head out and get back to work. But have a great day, everyone.
Thanks for coming, Jackie. She's a great lady. Check out her channel. She's awesome.
Absolutely.
A lot of the people we ended up hooking up with a lot of people because we're plant-based, so we do a lot of vegan recipes and stuff like that too. Yeah. And so we ended up hooking up with a lot of people on YouTube that do plant-based or cruelty-free makeup and plant-based and cruelty-free recipe and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's really kind of neat. It's really kind of neat too. But anyway, when you do those kind of things at the rescue and stuff like that, sometimes if you're there at the right time, at the right place at the right time, sometimes they'll say, hey, look, we don't want to bother with this. Like, I don't know if you noticed on that, the whole bracket and the brace were completely broken.
Yeah.
So they're like, look, we can't even fix that.
Yeah, we don't have time to fool with that. We've got too much going on. Yeah.
Right. They're not going to spend for a tank of that size that they can't even really fit any of their fish in.
Right.
They can't need it. Now, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put it up for sale on Craigslist, or they'll put it in a newspaper. But something like that's broken, they're not going to make anything on it.
Yeah.
So they're going to take, people like me and Jack who have helped, and they say, you guys know what to do with this. So you know what? That's going to be a series of videos where we're going to show how to take the frame off, put a new frame on, possibly reseal it. We haven't filled it yet. If it leaks, we will reseal it. And then we're going to take the stand apart. We're going to fix the stand. We're going to repaint it. That's just going to be a series of videos to say, hey, look, we got this old piece of trash that somebody didn't want, but we ultimately are going to turn it into something beautiful that's going to make an amazing home for some of our fish or turtles or both,
Yeah.
This is my bedroom. If you haven't seen the video we did recently on this, we recently brought this guy into the bedroom. And this is one of my pride and joys. I love this tank.
It's set up like a shrine. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool if I go back all the way. So what I did with this is we have rain barrels, and we talk a lot about rain barrels and conservation and our solar panels and all that too.
Yep.
This pothos, we literally bought, it was like 4 little pieces of pothos last summer around this time, put them in the top of one of our rain barrels, and it turned into this gigantic monster. So we brought it in the fall, and we put it in the beta tank, and we showed how we did it. We drilled holes on the top of the slate, and we put it in, and now it's just turned into this gigantic monster. I got this rack. Someone was throwing this rack away, actually.
Nice.
So I got this shelf. I reinforced it, bolted it to the wall. Now what we've done, and no one has seen this yet. You guys are the first people to see it because we just did a video 2 weeks ago of how we moved it in here. We haven't even shown this yet. But we got all the pothos up on the wall here. So what's happening is the pothos are starting to grow, and this side is growing up here, and then we're raveling around the arms and legs here. Ultimately, what we have is 3 of those small tanks that are over there in that closet are going to ultimately end up on these shelves.
Oh, nice.
The first tank is going to be on the bottom. It's going to be a princess tank where we're going to have all female betas, because this guy, oh, look, he's right in front. There's
Bro, have a great day. I appreciate you swinging by. Have fun boxing those fish up. Sorry.
That's okay. There's Cap. If you've never seen our beta, he's quite the specimen.
He is.
He's a handsome fella. Jack named him Cap after Steve Rogers, Captain America, because he's red, white, blue.
That's the one that Punchy did the artwork on.
Yes,
correct?
yes. He's a beaut. Look at him. He's just looking at me like, you gonna put some food in, dude, or you gonna stand there? But so what we're going to do is we're going to try breeding him. We're going to have some females down here. Now, this pothos inevitably will go into every single tank on this rack and grow roots just like this tank. But then the other thing it's going to do is we're going to lift these guys up, and they're going to go all the way across this wall. So my entire wall here, my entire headboard is all going to be plants all connected to these tanks. And it'll just be a biosystem. Like, it's going to be pretty crazy. And I know a lot of people like fish rooms. We're kind of into the way we like to do our house is to have a tank in every room.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just different. Everybody does it different, Now I'm going to sneak in Jack's room real quietly because these guys are probably going to be up on the bridge, because you were asking me about the aqua bridges and stuff. And I don't want them to jump off because I want everybody to see, because this is really, really neat when they are up here. Oh yeah, he is. Okay. Now, if you can see him over there on the bridge, I'll try to get him before he jumps off. See that little guy sunbathing there?
Okay.
I'll try to get closer before he jumps off. Let me see if I can get a close-up. Yeah, these guys are cute. Look at this guy. See him?
Oh, just hanging out. That is so cute.
Isn't that funny how they sprawl their arms and legs out like that?
Working on that perfect tan.
He's got the double whammy spotlight. So how we did this is this initial bridge. The reason that we did this is because this is an old dresser that Jack inherited from his grandmother. It's 100 years old. And he had a tank up here, but we wanted more room. We wanted to make it bigger. Well, his dresser, obviously, we couldn't fit a larger tank because it went down. So we said, hey, instead of buying new furniture and getting a new tank and all this, we had this tank. I said, dude, why don't we just put the tank here? They're level on top, and we'll put a bridge. And we tried it, and it worked, and it was awesome. And these are things I've done, before and stuff. So then we said, hey, why stop there? Let's add another one. So this bridge here, we actually did that thing that they did on Tanked. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode with Redneck, where he takes the bottles and he burns the bottom off.
Yeah.
So that's what we did with this one. We found this vase for like $5. We found this vase for $5 in a clearance rack, and we have a video on it. If you look on our channel, we put acetone and rope on it, lit it on fire, put it in water, it cracked, and then we siliconed it together. And that's how we made this one.
Sorry, my cat's decided she wants to be very vocal right now.
That's okay. But that is a longer one. That's why we used a vase, because you could find a longer one. So,
I got you.
Because this isn't in the way of the doorway over there, so we could put it further over. And then just Friday, we did a video on how we made these avatar rocks. And that came out really cool. There's another one of the guys right there. See, what these guys do normally in the middle of the day, these soft shell turtles, is they go down here and they dig and they sleep underneath the sand. A lot of people don't know soft shell turtles can actually, they can turn amphibious incredibly quick. They can like breathe through their skin. It's almost like they go in hibernation mode almost every day.
I got you. Okay.
And they can go down there and they can sleep there for hours. It's amazing. It's kind of funny because people made comments when we did this initial video. They were like, don't turtles need a place to get air? And I'm like, you obviously have never read anything about these kind of turtles, because they're nothing like that at all. But you have to expect a certain amount of ignorance. That's fine. And that's why we respond and we try to educate people when they have questions about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, our next step is, you could see we already have this plexiglass in. We're going to take a whole bunch of strawberry vines that are abundant in our yard, and we're going to load up all 3 of these tanks with strawberry vines, and this entire wall and everything is going to be full of vines, just like that room over there.
Oh, I think that's going to be amazing.
And then we're also doing a new, I'm not going to really show that tank because that tank's under renovations. We got a video coming up Friday about that. But that is some new guys. I'll give you a spoiler. There's a puffer in there that we added. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Jack loves that guy. But that'll be Friday's video. But anyway, the lights that we're putting on the background, these are new. And these are lights. I'll have to go into the whole ATM thing, but we're actually going to be putting on. Have you ever seen these like meteorite lights?
I don't know that I have.
That you hang like from a tree and it looks like shooting stars.
Oh, very nice.
Like for Christmas.
Gotcha.
We got a hold of this website called In the Box, out of New York, and we're going to be doing something like that. That's going to be because we did background lights on it. But anyway, those are just some of the projects we got going on that I wanted to show you guys when I was walking around there. But anyway, ultimately, I think the biggest thing is just really trying to be inventive. I started doing this when I was like 5 years old. I've always kind of tried to push the limits, and try different things and try new things. Jack and I really didn't know what we were doing at all.
Right.
I literally had a flip phone up until about 4 years ago, because when you work in nursing, you're not even really allowed to have your phone on you.
Right.
So I never bothered having a fancy phone. In fact, I think I still have it sitting here. Yeah. Check this baby out. That's my phone right there.
Oh yeah.
I had that sucker for like about 10 years. The one I had before that, I don't think I still have that one. But anyway, then when I got this job, the company, kind of hooked me up with a phone. It took me about a year to figure out how to use the darn thing.
Always fun.
And long story short, we started posting stuff. What we did is, if you look at our first video we ever posted, it was the big tank. When I first went from the 180, I sold my 180 and I got a 220, and I put a new aqua cave in there with a penthouse. And it has avatar rocks hanging. It has avatar rocks floating. It has a penthouse 20 tall that goes all the way to the ceiling. It's one of the coolest designs we ever did. Yep. Lava rock. And it has the aqua cave. And the aqua cave is an upside down tank with an air pocket in it for the turtles to go. Okay? So a lot of people are like, oh, you got to have an area where they can bask. Not really. As long as they can dry out, they'll be fine. So they can go in this aqua cave and they can breathe because there's a constant flow of air. And again, if you look at those videos, you'll kind of understand how it works because we explain it. And then we still have UV lights on the top. So anytime they go up to the top and anytime they eat or anything, they still get UV light.
Right, absolutely.
They don't have to be out of the water to get UV light, but they do have to dry out. But the other thing is we take them out. Like, no matter how nice of a tank you have or how nice of a setup you have for your turtles or whatever, you got to let them out once in a while.
Absolutely. You have some of the coolest concepts. If people are looking for different ideas, because I know a lot of times we're like, well, we see the same old thing over and over again, maybe with a different aquascape, but it's basically just a fish tank that's set up like every other fish tank. But you've got some really, really out of the box thinking and really neat ideas. Real quick, I want to say thank you, Fantastic Freaks, also our newest member from last week. But the $2 super chat says puffers are awesome. Yes, they most definitely are. Maybe one day I will move into a puffer. But thank you, Fantastic Freaks. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, wait till you see Jax. He got again, this is a total spoiler. This is a baby leopard puffer that, to be honest with you, we pretty much rescued because it was in a tank at a Pet Supplies Plus where there was 10 of them and they were pretty much all on death's door.
Right.
And we said, you know what? And I told the manager, and I talked about this in a video coming out Friday. I go, listen, that tank needs some attention, but I didn't even want to bother buying any of the other ones because honestly, I don't think any of them lived. I said, give me that one. He's about the only one that's going to make it. And we'll put him in Jack's baby turtle tank and we'll see how it goes. And you'll see in the video and updates, but they really are cool. He always wanted one and I was kind of waiting for the right opportunity. This is the aqua cave here. And again, none of the lights or anything are on now, but we're going to be doing some remodeling on this and some updates on this. So back to what we were talking about when we started this, that's the first video we ever posted.
Yep.
And what happened is we posted it. And of course, when you post a video and you don't have a channel and nobody knows who you are, nobody sees it.
Right.
And what happened is it had like 1 view a day. And then all of a sudden one day we woke up and it had 100 views. And I looked at it. I was actually at the gym. A lot of times I look at my phone at the gym in the mornings. And what happened is we had a comment on there from a little gentleman named Foo the Flower Horn. Did you ever hear that guy?
Yep. Real quick, I want to say bye to Leslie. I appreciate you. She's got to head out. Thank you for being here. And Danny Kid Aquatics with the $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. Says for more Band-Aids. Love you, brother. LOL. Thank you, Danikin, for the $5. That one didn't even pop.
What's up, Danikin?
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Band-Aid fund. Sorry, I want to say bye to Leslie before she headed out.
But. Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, Foo the Flower Horn. Yeah.
Huge YouTuber. Yeah. Huge YouTuber. So here we were, posted a video 2 weeks. Never posted a video on YouTube before in our lives. Had no idea what we were doing. We knew who he was.
Yeah.
And I go, Jack, check this out, dude. And he's like, what? And no cell phone, no polished nails. Yeah, that's true. The funny part is we were so incredibly used to the masks that it wasn't really actually a big deal for me. I know it is for a lot of other folks, but I wear them every day anyway, for years and years and years. But yeah, it's getting old. We'll see what happens with things. But anyway, so I told Jack, I said, dude, you're not going to believe this. Foo the Flower Horn actually commented. And if you go to that video, you'll see there's only like 5 comments on the whole video.
Right.
And one of them is him. And I pinned it, of course, because I was so excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of them was Phil from Filthy Tanks, if you're familiar with him. Really nice guy from San Francisco. Has a lot of great tanks. And he was like the first YouTuber we ever really connected with. And he said something like, what is this tankation? Like, what is this creation, And I'm like, dude, I've been doing this a long time. I just didn't post anything.
Right.
So that was a really neat thing. And when that started taking off a little bit, we said, okay, let's start doing some more of this. Let's start sharing some more ideas. And it's really been a fun ride, man. It's just something that we enjoy doing together. And I think the reason, if you haven't seen that article that Interesting Engineering did, it's really kind of cool. One of the things that they focused on was during the pandemic when everybody was locked up. They were like, you know what? This is an awesome video in about 100 different ways. First of all, it's just neat because who doesn't love clown loaches? And they were the stars of the show in that video. And the other thing was, it was unique and different, and it was a father-son thing. And it could have been a father-daughter or a mother-son or a mother-daughter or whatever, but it was a parent-family thing, you know?
Yes.
And it was like, you know, everybody's locked up at home. You got nothing to do. Instead of playing video games the whole day or whatever, let's do something fun and creative. Let's give our fish an incredibly awesome place to live. And it just kind of exploded. You know, it was really fun.
Absolutely. So, and I love the whole father-son thing, or the family part of it, the family aspect, the multi-generational. You and I had talked a little bit about the whole COPPA thing and when that happened, because there was a huge panic. And I've talked to other people, but I've not really talked to anybody directly in the fish community about it that specifically, features their child in it, because it's, of course, Jack and Dan, Jack being your son. So for people like myself, where my little ones, they want to be involved in videos, but I've always been kind of weary since that came through, because I haven't had any experience with this. So can you give us any thoughts or guidelines on that if you've got kids?
So there's actually a lot of people doing it. MD, MD Tanks?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's huge, 100,000 subscribers. He exploded right away, does tons of tanks. He has his kids in his videos all the time, little kids. When the whole thing came about, a lot of people freaked out. And I think one of the main reasons why people freaked out is because nobody read it.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those political type of paperwork, government things that was like, I don't even understand this. And I have noticed that some people have shied away from our channel due to that. Like there's a lot of people that we make comments on their videos, we watch their videos, we support them, and they've just never made comments on our videos ever. I don't know if it's, ultimately there comes a time when you just stop, because, part of it is because we don't know whether or not they're afraid that they're somehow going to get in trouble or whatever. But obviously YouTube doesn't have an issue with it because they've promoted several of our videos.
Right. You get 1.7 million views on just one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't have an issue with it. As far as the FTC goes, this ain't my first round with the FTC. Right. I mean, I told you I played in a metal band most of my life. I was involved with censorship. I was involved with the FTC. I was involved with a lot of those kind of things. What we did, we read it. We looked it over. We went to our lawyer. I have a great lawyer. I literally grew up with this girl, went to school with her. She's totally awesome. She's a good friend. And I sent everything to her and I said, what do you think? And she goes, well, you're not the first person that came to me with this, obviously, Right. And just like Zen Ginger said here, if it's not focused on kids programming, you're okay. So there's like a list of, whoops, my phone fell. There's like a list of 10 criteria that they look at.
Right.
And only one of the things says, and basically what YouTube said is they said, here's a list of things to look at if you want. What's up, Larry D?
Hey, Larry, how are you?
If you want to make sure that you're not breaking any rules for the FTC, here's some things to look at. And the biggest thing is whether or not it is directed toward children. So, if Jack, let's say it wasn't my channel and it wasn't my videos and it wasn't in my name and it was just Jack doing it by himself. If he were to come on and there was kids music playing and there was primary colors in the background and he was dancing and you know what I mean? That would be for kids.
Gotcha.
But our channel is actually, if anything, it's for parents.
Yeah.
Because what we do is we try to help parents find good things to do with their kids. And again, I noticed a lot of other channels doing this. Some of the big channels like MD, he's starting to bring his kids into his videos more and more and more. And the reason he's doing it is because people like it.
Right.
People love the kid. And you look at the comments and they're like, I love when you have your kids in the video, and it's great. And again, it's not a COPA thing. It's not a COPA thing. It's very simply, he's having his kids, and you can do that. So anyway, it's not something. The other concern that people have is, are you showing kids do things that are dangerous? So like we do stuff like in the yard. I've got Jack cutting grass and climbing on the roof and cleaning chimneys, and we do everything together like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we show people how to do those kind of things. We have relationships with Ryobi and Works and Yellow Light, and now there's a couple of companies from Amazon that are like sending us drones and stuff like that. They want us to do like, father-son reviews on them. We're talking to Vitamix about doing some stuff with them. All kind of different things like that. And so a lot of people are like, well, if you have kids doing things like that, then that's dangerous because kids could go out and do that. And that's not true. As long as you're doing it with them, now if Jack had his own channel and came on there and was like lighting glass vases on fire, yes, that would be not okay. But we're doing it together. Yeah. So it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, thanks for putting MD Fish Tanks. If anybody has not ever seen or heard of MD Fish Tanks, he's a really, really, really cool guy. He also was another big YouTuber who reached out to us and made comments on some of our videos, which was very, very nice of him to do, and was very encouraging, and gave us some tips and pointers and communicated with us. Very, very, very nice guy there. Has a huge shed, like an outdoor shed, fish room kind of thing. Does a lot of natural stuff. He's just a fantastic guy. Really, really cool. Very down to earth. He also does reviews where he looks at which this is a newer thing he started doing, which I like. He looks at like Instagram and YouTube, and he finds people that post their fish tanks that are not really okay. And he kind of talks about why, not necessarily ripping on them, but he kind of says, hey, maybe this isn't all right or whatever.
Maybe you shouldn't have that Oscar in that 10-gallon tank.
Right. And so anyway, back to how this all happened. Start off with Hi Kids. Yeah, Muppet 1929. Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that you don't want to have. But it is a shame because I do think that some people do shy away from our channel because of that. I think that's too bad. They don't have to. They have nothing to worry about. It's, whatever. But Jack's going to be 13 in a few months anyway, so it won't matter anymore anyway.
Right.
And hopefully, that'll be different. And he will probably become a little more independent on our channel. He may start doing a little more independent stuff. Not necessarily his own channel, but he may do some of his own videos or something like that,
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. What was some of the other stuff you were asking me about? Oh, yeah. So the tank stuff, ATM.
Mm-hmm.
How that happened. Well, first of all, if we go back a little ways, how this all started for me was I got into fish keeping when I was a kid. When I went off to college, I started having fish tanks in my dorm, which was a big no-no. You weren't allowed to do that. So we kept them secret. Me and my roommates kept them secret. Then we all went to an apartment. And back then, of course, we were trying to save money. We had a 3-bedroom apartment with 7 guys. And at one time, we had about 30 fish tanks in there. So we were just walking all over each other. We had a 4-foot Cayman alligator named Phil that we named after Phil Anselmo from Pantera. And he just walked around the apartment like a dog, roamed freely. He was hilarious. He was good fun at parties. He had a great life. He actually ended up going to the Akron Zoo, I want to say, when we graduated. We got him from the hockey team. The hockey team bought him as a mascot, didn't know what to do with him because he got bigger. So we said, we'll take him off your hands. We built him a massive enclosure, and it was like a big hang on the wall thing. It was really cool. I went to school with a couple guys that were like taking zoology and all that kind of stuff. We were all into science one way or another, and we had all these tanks, and we had these big parties in our apartments, and we had like piranhas and snakes and alligators, and we were just college kids being college kids. But it was a lot of fun. So then when we graduated, we kind of divided things up, and we all went our own way. And I had a big fish room in the basement of my parents' house because I stayed there for a couple of years. My parents got divorced, so I stayed with my mom to kind of help her financially. I figured, why would I go to an apartment when I can give a few $100 to my mom every month and help her out? So that's what I did for a couple of years. And then I had a big, huge fish room in the basement. I moved to an apartment. I sold everything. And then when I moved to a bigger apartment after that, I started again. And then when I got a house with Jack's mom, quite a long time ago now, I started another fish room in my basement. Some of those tanks ended up coming here, but a lot of them I sold off and got new ones. And so Jack and I are still kind of starting over again. We moved here about 9 years ago. We're still in the process of really starting over again. And we plan on just continue to go. We want to have a tank in every single room. And we've kicked around a lot about, what did she say here? MD made me want to get the giant intricate water testing kit now. Yeah, he's something. He's really a cool guy. He has great stuff. He was really cool too, man. When somebody like that big, when you wake up and you check your comments and somebody like that leaves you a compliment or something, it's like, wow, I mean, it feels good, you know. And they give you shout outs and they pin your comments, and that helps, you know, that helps you to grow. And that's a lot of fun. But anyway, back in the day when I first graduated college and I had this little fish room in my mom's basement, and I was trying to find my career and going on interviews and going through that struggling. I was working at pet shops. I took a bunch of my plans, and I was telling you a little bit about this when we talked. And I literally this was back in the day, man. This was back before the internet. This was back before any of this stuff. And I folded a piece of paper into fours and took two of them and made like a 10-page booklet. Yeah. And I hand drew my designs in there of vacuums and aqua caves and bridges and all this crazy stuff. And I literally went to a copy shop, copied them, got a post office box, went to the post office, bought rolls of stamps. And you guys remember, there's going to be some young folks out there who are going to think we're old. You remember an old magazine called Popular Mechanics, right? Everything's online now. Most of this stuff doesn't exist anymore. But it was more of a journal. It used to come out quarterly. Yeah. And what happened is I put an ad in the back, and it was literally like $7 to put an ad in the back of Popular Mechanics. But the thing is then that lasted 3 months. Oh yeah. So you paid $7 and you put an ad in there, but it was circulated for 3 months all over the world.
Yeah, the value there is ridiculous.
Right. And all I did was I made a little paragraph. Zen Ginger says, I remember it. You're 41. Oh, you remember Popular Mechanics? Whose dad didn't have a thing of Popular Mechanics on the back of the toilet, right? Yeah.
Pesodic, thank you for that super chat. Says, great special guest. Yeah, absolutely. Dan's an awesome dude.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I like his channel too. We watch his channel. We watch all these people's channels, man. Oh yeah. We do a lot of this stuff when we're working out in the garage, because we work out in the garage now because of the new virus. We just have YouTube on all the time on the Bluetooth, and we listen to everyone's videos in between sets and stuff like that. And it's a great thing. Everybody's putting their age in here now. 43, 46, 41. You guys are all younger than me. You guys are all younger than me.
Andy says, great stream with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Another awesome channel there.
Yeah, we just
Having
watched
fun
one of
doing
his
it.
we just watched one of his videos yesterday about substrate. He's a great guy too. There's so many.
It's hard to keep up, but there's so many awesome people. Thank you all for those super chats. But yeah, I love the fact that you had the mentality and the mindset of doing that. You know, at $7 for a 3-month ad that's going everywhere.
Yeah. So what happened with that? What happened with that? It was miraculous. I totally didn't count on anything happening at all. And I put a little ad in there. It was like 3 sentences. And it said, you know, incredibly unique, creative aquarium designs, something to get people's attention.
Right.
And it said $5 check or money order. Remember money orders, guys? Before there was Zelly and, you know, iPay and PayPal.
Yeah.
There was money orders, and you would go to a place like a drugstore or a bank, and you would pay like 30 cents, and you would get a money order. It was kind of like a check, and you would put it in an envelope. So what I did is I told people, send me $5, and I will send you a 10-page pamphlet and it had like 20 different designs in them that I drew.
Yeah.
And I got a post office box, and I got the stamps, and I got a big box of envelopes, and I started mailing these out. And I sold 1,000 of those. Okay? 1,000. So I made $5,000 off of these little booklets.
That is
back
awesome.
in 1995. Okay?
Yeah.
25 years ago. And I took that $5,000 and I chucked it on my student loans, because I didn't have the $100,000 student loans that these kids are having these days. I still had 25 grand in student loans, but that was a good portion of it that I knocked out right away. So that was really helpful. And it was really cool, because I would get letters back from people after they read them and tried some of them, and they would write me and they would send me pictures of what they did. It was the coolest thing ever, man. And that went on for years. Like 3 or 4 years that went on. And that was before YouTube, before Google, before the internet. That was how it was. And I'll never forget that, you know, how cool that was to correspond with people from all over the world. Yeah. It was amazing. And back then, stamps were 15 cents. And I think an international stamp, you would just stick 2 stamps on instead of 1. So it was incredibly cheap to do. And anyway, so then we decided, let's start this up again. When we uploaded these and we got some of this attention, what we did is we got on the Animal Planet website, and we sent that first video to every single person at Animal Planet on their website, including all the guys from ATM, all the producers, every single email we could find. We sent it to like 100 different people. And we got an email back about a month later from Wade King from Tanked. And it was him, and it was this company that he was working with called Versaloom. And we've done videos on this, but again, they were really early, so most people have not seen them. And what they did is let me show you guys some of this. And we did videos on this, but what they did is, unbeknownst to us, the show was kind of ending. We didn't know it at the time. They invented these lights, like these laser lights like this, but they're waterproof. You can see how it has a little cap on it, like a little plastic cap on the end. It's sealed. So you can actually put these underwater inside the tank.
Okay.
And they're called King's Laser Lighting. And they started like a Kickstarter and everything. And so they wanted people, so they sent us a bunch of those. And they said, hey, we want you to do some videos and send us the videos, and then we're going to put them on our website and all that kind of stuff. So we did, and we sent them everything. But then, without getting too incredibly personal, if anybody doesn't know the story, you can look up on TMZ and some of those things. Let's just say the S hit the fan, and they had some issues, and so all of that fell apart. So the Kickstarter never took off. They never really ended up doing it. But we got left a whole bunch of laser lights, which was cool.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, they literally send us like hundreds of dollars worth of these lights. It was really cool. So we've used them in our designs and in our fish tanks, and we did some videos on them. I'm just going to walk out here real quick, show you guys some of the yard just because it looks so doggone beautiful. This is what it's like in Ohio right now. It's about 90 degrees and humid. It's getting ready to storm. These are our milkweed plants. Usually when I come out here in the middle of the day like this, there's like butterflies everywhere all over them. We do a lot of videos too with our yard and some of our ideas and stuff there. These are our milkweeds. So these are the big, huge alien pods that they make. We actually propagated this entire front garden off of one of these that we took. We literally took one of these seed pods and started planting it. Every year got more and more. And now we have this massive island of milkweeds here. And yeah, it's really cool because they attract the monarch butterflies and that, you know?
Yeah.
And we sit here in the front. We sit here in the front in our chairs, and you can look out here, you know, in the evening or whatever, and there's just thousands of butterflies and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's how that happened with Tanked. So anyway.
Oh. Starting to lose you.
Because all that's so I had to go. There we go. Yeah, I'll go back over here. So I went out to Vegas in August for a big wellness convention that I had to go to for work. And I said, well, you know what? Let's go out there and let's just see if we can find them because, you know, they're out there. So we went out there. Jack couldn't go. He had just started school already. And so my ex-fiance and I went out there. And long story short, the whole thing was like shut down. And so I called them numerous times when I was there. I said, hey, I'm in town. I'd like to connect, maybe do a video together or something like that. And we found some information on Brett. And I got a hold of Brett's, like, he had like a kind of like an agency that helps him with the tours and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I got a hold of her and she said, oh, he doesn't do that anymore. He's not connected with the show anymore. The show ended. None of them talk. None of them get along and all this. And I was like, wow, that sucks. And basically what happened is I said, well, I've talked to them via email. I told them I was coming out a long time ago. We were supposed to try to hook up, maybe do a video together. Yeah. And so she said, I'll just give you his phone number. That's what she said to me. And I said, you're just going to give me Brett Raymer's personal phone number? And she said, yeah. And I said, okay. And we were literally sitting there at dinner. I'm talking around the phone. I wrote it down, put it in my phone. I called him up. I said, hey, this is Dan from Jack and Dan. We've been emailing you guys, you know, months ago. You sent us the lights, all that. I know a lot of stuff has happened, but we're here. My son's not here, but I'd like to connect with you and all that. Right. And a day passed, didn't hear back. Another day passed, didn't hear back. And then I said, well, we're only going to be here in Vegas for 2 more days. And I know a lot of people don't do the voicemail thing anymore and that. So I texted him.
Right.
And I texted him like around lunchtime. Yeah, this is about the milkweed. Yeah. Oh, man, we get them monarchs, dude. It's unbelievable. We get hundreds of them. It's crazy. Crazy. They love
shit. I was saying used to have 10 acres of it. It's considered a pest weed, Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah. We love them, though. For one thing, they're super easy to take care of. They look pretty nice. They propagate amazingly. And, oh, yeah, there you go. You got the tour of Brett Raymer's house. So what happened is he texted me back. We were literally sitting at a slot machine in Vegas. This is a crazy story, too. Me and my ex-fiance were sitting next to a couple from Germany for like an hour and a half playing these slot machines back and forth. Same exact slot machine. It had this massive jackpot of $1.4 million. Okay? They were from Germany. First time ever in Vegas. Of course, right? course, we had been there many times. We're talking to them. I'm German, obviously. Last name Herman. I'm like one letter off. We're talking to them. They're talking to us. The wife gets up and leaves. She's like, this is boring. Nobody's winning. She gets up and walks away. Her husband hit the jackpot of $1.4 million, dude.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable. About 100 security guys pop out of the woodwork, put a barrier around us. So here's me and my fiance sitting there, and we're stuck in this barrier, sitting next to this guy, talking. His wife, and if you've ever been to the casinos in Vegas, a lot of times your phones don't work.
Gotcha.
I don't know if there's too much stuff going on or whatever. So he can't get a hold of his wife. So my fiance, ex-fiance, my fiance at the time, this was back in August, she tells the security guys, can I go try to find her? Because I really want to let her know that her husband just won $1.5 million. And so she goes and finds her, brings her back. She literally passes out on the spot. They were young. They were like a young couple. It was amazing. So anyway, that was all going on. In the midst of all that, Brett Raymer starts texting me back. It was like midnight. This was a crazy vacation, man. Crazy vacation. I did a lot of videos about this vacation. It was a good time. So then he just texts me back and he says, here's my address. Get an Uber. Just come over tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Nice.
And I go, wow. And he said, I don't. And I said, well, your agent said that you don't really do these tours anymore. And he said, I don't, but I think you and your son are, really nice guys and it's really cool. And I'm going to make an exception and come on over. I like to I know you're big fans of the show. And he kind of missed it because he was away from it for a while. And he really had a lot of heart and soul into this. And we get this Uber. And it really was a fantastic vacation, Larry D. I tell you, we had such a ball on this thing. It was amazing. So I show this to my fiance and I go, dude, he just texted us back. He gave us his address. And she goes, you're kidding me. And I go, no, let's go home, go to bed. So we're well rested. So here, well, then we're on this natural high because we're hanging out with these people that just won $1.5 million. We couldn't go to sleep.
Right.
So we finally go home. We go back to the room. We go to sleep. We get up. We take this Uber. This Uber guy shows up, but he shows up in this really fancy car. Because apparently, when you put in certain addresses, certain Uber drivers show up in certain cars. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
This was news to me. I had never experienced anything like this. So he picks us up, and he starts driving us over there. And he goes, hey, where are you guys going? And I go, well, if you've ever seen that show Tanked, we're going to meet the creator, Brett Raymer. And he goes, no kidding, I love that show. And we go, cool. So he takes us right to the front door, and it's kind of like a gated community. And we pull up to his house, and it's like a fence and everything, and he's got the whole button thing, and we hit the button, and we're like, hey, we're here. And the thing buzzes, and we walk up to the door, and we're like, is there going to be a security guard or a butler or something? Because it's that big. I mean, it's that big. It's like a $4 million mansion or something. It's ridiculous. And, and you're walking in and you see this yard and this pond and all this stuff. And he just answers the door in shorts and a T-shirt. He goes, hey, I just got done working out. He's got a whole gym in his basement. He goes, come on in. And he invited us in. And we hung out for hours and we talked and he showed us around and I shot video of it. He said a lot of things that I did not put on video. He started talking a lot about the show and the dynamics. And I was like, you know what? I don't really want to put that kind of stuff in the video. This isn't TMZ. This is Jack and Dan. I just want to share. I just want to share stuff. He did share a lot. If you've never seen that video, he FaceTimed Jack since Jack wasn't able to go. And that was really, really cool. And he talked to Jack for 15 minutes and he said, hey, look, me and my dad started ATM. We were doing okay. We were in New York. We were $1 million in debt. And then basically what happened is we made this pilot and we put it up to Animal Planet. 3 times Animal Planet turned it down. They said, this is garbage. This will never make anything. This is the worst show idea ever. And he said, okay, but he was relentless and he kept trying. Now, and again, there's people that have different feelings about the show Tanked, but no one could argue it was like the most successful show on Animal Planet ever, pretty much. There's like no one that doesn't know what it is. So they eventually went along with it. And so it was really kind of cool of him telling Jack, like, you know what, we tried and we finally made it. He ended up getting like close to $1 million a season. If you can only imagine, they did 15 seasons. Yeah. So it was a really, really cool experience. It was really cool of him. And I have texted him since then. I try not to bother him. He's a super busy guy. He owns a bunch of businesses because, you know, he invested his money. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He owned a bunch of donut shops, actually, in Vegas. But I think because of the pandemic, he had to sell them and some of them closed, but then he did other things. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Basically, what we did is, like when that one video went viral and certain other things, I texted them to him. And he does respond. He's like, that's awesome. Good for you guys. You know, he's a really, really nice guy.
Well, I appreciate having you on here. And I could talk to you all day long, but we've hit our hour mark. And I know Big J is ready to rock and roll, and I don't want to go over his time. Do you have any final words or thoughts for everybody watching?
No, man, I just want to say thanks for everybody. I just kind of wanted to share some of the, share some of the stuff that we talked about, since we haven't done a live stream or anything before. A lot of times Jack and I don't talk about a lot of this kind of stuff. We just kind of keep making videos and having fun with it from our perspective. But a lot of people had questions about Copa. A lot of people had questions about, how this all started and how we met these people and how we did these other things. I do want to say, too, about how's Lacey. Lacey's good. Zen. Lacey is our dachshund. We have a playlist entitled Lacey the Mighty Dachshund. Lacey makes a cameo in almost every one of our videos. She is a dachshund. She is a hardy little soul. She broke her back years ago. And we don't talk about that much, but we are going to be doing videos about that, talking about how she rehabbed and how she went through that. But she's doing fantastic. When my fiance and I split up, we're kind of doing like shared parenting with Lacey.
I got you.
Because she's such a part of mine and Jack's life. So she does spend some time here and she spends some time there and kind of goes back and forth. So she has some upcoming videos. In fact, we have a video coming up soon of her boyfriend, an exclusive video of Lacey's boyfriend that no one's ever seen before. She does have a boyfriend. He is about 120-pound white German Shepherd.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, about 10 times her size. And it's about the only dog in the world that she hasn't ever beat up. She's kind of a bully. She's very protective of Jack. I kind of trained her to be that way. And honestly, if you look up, it's kind of funny. Dachshunds got voted like the most ferocious dogs in the history of like dogs. If you ever read about that, it's kind of funny. They're even considered to be more ferocious than pit bulls or anything. And they're kind of fun. So she does have videos and she does do well. And we're going to be doing more videos talking about her injury and how we rehabbed her and what she's been through and stuff. But a lot of people do like Lacey too. Thanks for asking, Zen. But it's a lot of fun. We kind of share everything about our life. We try to get people interested in having. There's Lacey, my dachshund. She's got some funny videos, man. And she's always jealous of the fish. If we're working on the fish tank, she's always standing there like, why are you paying those fish attention? And we always show her. She's funny. But, hey, all I could say is thanks to everybody who's been supportive of us. Thanks to you, James. There's some great, great channels out there. We really enjoy looking at people's real lives. When it comes to like TV and reality shows, it's all a bunch of baloney anyway. Who doesn't know that? You know what I mean? Yeah. When it comes to looking at people's real lives, we really enjoy the YouTube videos and learning and sharing. And, hey, man, I could tell stories all day, just like you said, but, I don't want to take up too much time. But we could definitely do this again sometime and talk more. But I appreciate the time, man.
Oh, dude, no, I appreciate you being on. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to have you on again. I just feel bad running over Big J's time slot. But a huge thank you for being here. I'm a huge fan of yours, so it's been fun to talk to you on and off camera.
Likewise.
I want to say thank you, of course, to the moderator team. I appreciate all the hard work you all do. Thank you to everybody hanging out. Even if I didn't get to say your name, I did see all of y'all hanging out in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for the people lurking. A final quick thank you for the super chats, the Zen Ginger, Fantastic Freaks, Danica Aquatics, Petzotic / multiple aquariums and aquariums maintained by Andy. Really, really do appreciate those. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please go check out Big J. We'll get a link dropped one more time for him. He is live now. So thanks again, Dan. Until next time.
Thanks, guys.
Keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Catch your